Hey guys, what's up? Today I'm going to be reading through the new patch notes for patch 6.2H. I'm currently working at my house, but I'm taking a little break to make this video for you guys, so I really hope you guys are going to enjoy this. So, let's get to it. We got the Swain rework coming this patch, and we got a lot of other changes as well. Alright, oh wait, I'm not going to read this. I'm not going to read this part, because this says this patch we're going to buff this and this and this. I'm not going to read it. Because I read this patch we're gonna buff, and then I saw some champions and nerf and blah blah blah. I don't want to read it because I want it to be a surprise for me, because I always guess, right? So I'm guessing that Swain is obviously getting buffed because of the rework. Always when they rework champions, they get buffed. So Swain's ultimate has always lacked a little extra oomph. I wouldn't say so, but I see what they're saying. They kind of wanna just make the ult a bit more, right? Like where you don't have to stay within the enemy for like a whole minute for the ultimate to do something proper. So maybe they're gonna make him less tanky, but just do more damage. So let's see. We've decided to let him contribute more and extend it. Oh wait, no, it's completely the opposite. That's what I said. We decided to let him contribute more in extended fights beyond simply tanking damage. At the same time, we've reworked parts of how his abilities feel and numbers to ensure his power remains consistent across different builds. While still leaving room for counterplay, please note that Swain's update will not be live until September 25th, which is in 8 days. Okay. Ravenous Flock. This is his passive. Okay. Each stack of soul fragments heal for 3 to 6%, and it increases with level. Now it's only going to be 2 to 3.5%. However, you get an additional 0.5% ability power, which actually means that in the late game you get more healing. Because in the late game, if you're full AP with a Ward of Ages, you're going to get over 800 AP. 800 times 0.5, 0.5% of 800 is going to be like 4 extra percent. So you're going to have 7.5% maximum health rather than 6% maximum health healing. But we're only talking about like the super duper late game. Generally, this is a nerf. You're going to get less healing until like the very, very late game. Vision of Empire. Explosion Timer. It takes a longer time for the second ability to explode. And I actually like this because the second ability is not supposed to be like an easy hit within a second. I think this is good. However, this is going to make it a lot more difficult to crit the ability. In case you don't know, if you hit Vision of Empire, which is his second ability, on an enemy that is stunned or something or rooted, the ability crits. But, you would have to wait for a second for it to land. Now you have to wait for 1.35 seconds, which is, it's going to be more difficult to land it, the crit part. Demonic Ascensions. Okay, charges. This is the ultimate. What is this? Charges once. Charges infinite. What? What? Charges once. Goes to infinite. There is a new cooldown between 2 Demon Flare. 6 seconds. Guys, I'm lost. I have no idea what this means. I'm beyond lost. I have zero clue what this means. Charges once to infinite. And there's a cooldown between 2 Demon Flare. Does this mean you can always ult? Does this mean the cooldown is 6 seconds when it runs out? So when your ult runs out, you have to wait 6 seconds to use it again. But then it does a lot less damage. Is that what it means? Is this what it is? Is that the rework? So like you have infinite ults. The cooldown is only 6 seconds. I think so. I guess if that's the case, you're just permanently ulting as a Swain, but you're doing less damage. I think this would actually low-key be a nerf to like the good Swain players. But yeah, I have no idea. I think that's the change. If that's the change, I would say it's somewhat balanced actually, in my opinion. Gwen. I think Gwen is going to get a slight buff. Gwen is decent right now, but she's going to get buffed. Snip Snip, which is a first ability. Damage, bonus damage for every snip. 6% to 7% ability power, so more damage. So then bonus damage for the last snip goes from 30 to 35%. This is quite a substantial buff. This is like nearly 20% extra damage, which is a lot. It's really, really a lot. It's like 16.666% extra damage, which is like quite a ridiculous amount if you ask me. on the bonus damage for every snip. And then damage to jungle camps also increases. This is actually really good because Gwen has a terrible jungle clear. And this is, of course, going to help her clear the jungle just a tad bit faster. By the way, guys, make sure you give the video a like if you're enjoying it. Also, I have a pretty big announcement for some people. Are you into health and fitness? I'm looking for a fitness coach. And this is a paid opportunity. This is actually a massive opportunity. If someone is watching this video right now, you've been coaching people for bare minimum 3 years, preferably at least 5 years. I have a massive opportunity for you at Player versus Fitness. Reach out to me and we'll discuss it. Essentially, you're going to be coaching people and you're going to get paid for it. Reach out to me if you are a coach. Let's have a talk. All right. Needlework, which is her ultimate. This is the main damage, really. And they're buffing the damage by a lot. This is a lot. Like 5 extra base damage and then 10% or 2 extra % ability power. Huge buffs. These are really, really, really big buffs. Like a 25% damage increase, which is ridiculous in the late game. Absolutely ridiculous. Hecarim needs to get buffed. He's terrible right now. His base stats are just going up. His attack damage goes up by 4. His base armor goes up by 3. And his armor per level goes up by 0.5. So not only is he going to be tankier early game, he's also going to be tankier late game. Which he needs. Like, he absolutely needs this. Shyvana, low-key Shyvana is fine, but I think they're gonna buff her. I think specifically she's gonna... I think they're just gonna buff her ultimate, but let's see. Okay, I was wrong. Burnout, which is her second ability, gets a lower cooldown. This is a pretty big buff as well, because you need to remember, when you basic attack, the duration gets extended of this ability 3 times by 1 second. So the cooldown being reduced by 1 second means a lot more than a standard ability. So like you can pretty much... You're going to be very close to always having burnout active. And then the ultimate, exactly, they're buffing the ultimate as well. 50 extra health, which matters as well. You know, you're just going to be a lot tankier. Ryze, it would be funny if he gets buffed. But I think he's okay, but I do think he's going to get buffed. Yeah, funny, right? His base armor goes up by 3. His armor per level goes up by 0.5. His Rune Prison, which is his, I think, first ability. No, that's not his first ability. That is his second ability. The root. The cooldown gets decreased, and especially in the late game. Look at this. But you're not maxing this ability anyway, so you're only going to feel this in the late game. Like the big cooldown reduction. Perhaps you're going to max it now with this change, right? Because now instead of only reducing the cooldown by 1.5 seconds, you're going to be reducing the cooldown by 3 seconds. So if you need a lot of CC in the mid game, you could max this one rather than the third ability to sacrifice a bit of damage or CC. And then his ultimate the cooldown gets reduced by 5 seconds as well. Okay, not the biggest buffs, but, you know, substantial enough to make him probably S+ tier again. Tristana needs a big buff. She's terrible right now. Like, terrible. So she gets 30 extra base health. Okay, makes her stronger level 1. And then Explosive Charge, which is her... What is that? That's her third ability, I think? Gets more damage. I think that's her third ability, Explosive Charge. Which would be a big buff, because... Buffing her third ability, that's her main burst damage. So buffing that means a lot. Pretty good buff. I think this brings her to like balanced A tier. A tier, maybe low S tier. Ezreal. I think Ezreal needs a damage buff. But the funny thing is, the Iceborne Gauntlet build is quite good in certain games. But the damage build is not. So I think he needs maybe even more damage. Exactly, exactly. Look at this. He's getting buffed again. Ezreal's damage is going from 130% on his first ability to 135%. Oh my god. Yeah, this is big. Oof. This will bring Ezreal right back. And then his second ability. This is for you AP Ezreal players out there. His second ability cooldown gets reduced by 2 seconds. Maybe, and I'm saying maybe, I don't want to make promises. Maybe AP Ezreal becomes viable because of this. Because the cooldown is extremely low. Very, very low cooldown. Alright, Seraphine buff. She feels weak. High Note, which is her first ability, I believe. The damage gets increased, so full AP Seraphine gets more damage. But then the second ability gets nerfed. So they're nerfing the shielding part of Seraphine, but they want her to be more damage. Want her to do more damage. So 5% more damage, and then the shield. The cooldown gets reduced early game. But then it gets increased late game. So then again, if you play mid lane Seraphine or like a full damage Seraphine, you're going to keep this ability on level 1. Which means you're going to have a lower cooldown, 24 to 23. You're of course going to max your damaging abilities. you play support Seraphine, you're going to max this ability, in which case you're going to have a 2-second longer cooldown when you max it out. And as you can see again, they're nerfing the base shield, but they're buffing the percentage ability power, which again, full AP Seraphine benefits from this the most. So they really want to say, okay, enough support Seraphine, we want mid lane Seraphine. Blitzcrank, in my opinion, one of the most broken supports in the game, and I think he's going to get nerfed really, really hard. I think they're going to nerf his hook shot. I think they're going to nerf like half a second off his third ability, the cooldown, and I think they're going to make him slower with the second ability. Yeah, he gets nerfed, obviously. The base armor, he has 6 less base armor, which, you know, if you catch him off guard now, especially early game, you're really going to be able to punish him. His second ability is going to cost a ton of mana now. You can't just spam it. And if you do want to spam it, you're going to have to build Fimbo Winter again, like the old Blitzcrank. This is actually a good change, just so you cannot abuse this ability and use it all the time. And bonus movement speed, yeah, it gets reduced by a lot. That's what I thought. So from 50 to 65%, now only 35% movement speed to 50 in the first part. But I think the second part is still going to be a lot faster. And then decays over time to 25%. Now it decays to 10%. Okay. He's going to be a lot slower. It's going to cost more mana. He's going to be slightly less tanky, but he's still very much going to be an amazing champion. This is not enough of a nerf to him. All right, gameplay changes. Let's see. By the way, guys, you can now join the channel, which is, you know, €5 a month or $5 a month or whatever. It's next to the subscribe button. It should be somewhere down here. You can support the channel a lot when you do that. You know, you're going to get a nice color. It's like, yeah, you're going to get a nice color. All your comments, I'm going to get notifications from them. So like if you want me to see every single comment, I will reply to every single comment of a member. You know, you can join the channel, €5 a month. So if you want to do that, you want to do that. The button is below. If you don't want to do that, it's fine. So let's see. Force of Nature. 55 magic resist to 60. Okay. Good. Nothing else to say, just good. Deadman's Plate is a terrible item, needs a massive buff. Oh, and it is it is getting a massive buff. Look at this. 100 extra health, 20 extra armor. The price is the same, by the way. And then the target movement speed slow goes from 50 to now 75% on your first hit. This is a proper Deadman's Plate. This is gonna get some dead men. Like now you're gonna get some dead men on your hand with this plate. This is such a substantial buff. I don't think I've ever seen a buff this big on an item. Never. But the item deserved it. It was just such a trash item. I was playing with Keys yesterday. He was playing Thresh. And I remember he built Deadman's Plate. And it was just so useless because we lost the game because he didn't have a Frozen Heart. And then it just got to me. Like, why did we lose the game? He had a Deadman's Plate. We were snowballing the enemy. But he couldn't. It was the right item. But the item itself was just so weak that we couldn't properly utilize it to win the game. So it's so stupid where like currently you always have to build Frozen Heart, you know, always the same item, Sunfire Aegis, and you just can't build the other items because they're too weak. But now this item, I assure you, is going to become probably one of the strongest items in the game, and it's going to become a core item on like Darius, Garen, Thresh, you know, all these types of champions is going to become a core item. I assure you that. Warmok, absolute trash item right now. Health restored trigger time. If you haven't taken damage within the last 6 seconds, now it's if you haven't taken damage within the last 5 seconds, which is also a bigger buff than you would think. So you're gonna get an extra second of healing. Imagine you are in the middle of a team fight and you want to quickly cool down for like 10 seconds and then go back in. Now you're gonna have 5 seconds of healing rather than 4 seconds, which matters a lot. It's a lot of extra healing, which means a lot of extra effective health. So this is a good buff. Not too much of a buff, not to make this an obnoxious item, just to make it balanced. Soul Transfer. This item is quite strong. Damage inheritance ratio for clones from 25% to 20%. Okay, yeah. They're nerfing Soul Transfer because it was too much. It was really good when you were kiting the enemy. Mortal Reminder. The price goes up. Again, the item is extremely powerful. 200 gold more expensive. People are still gonna buy it. Also, in comparison with the other anti-heal item, which is the X-Tech Chainsaw or whatever, no one buys that item. It's completely and utterly useless. They need to buff that item, in my opinion. Navori Quick Blades. Your abilities do up to 12%. Now it's 9% increased damage based on critical rate. Apparently Navori was way too strong, so it's getting nerfed now. This is the thing that needs to get nerfed the most, the Repulsor. Everyone and their mothers were building Repulsors because of how unbelievably broken it was. So the cooldown goes up from 40 to 60 seconds. And then the stun duration goes down from 1.25 to 0.75. It's still going to be strong. Don't get me wrong. Like, it was utterly broken. Now it's just going to be strong and a more situational pick. You can't just always build this on an ADC now or whatever. What is this? The outer turret, armor and magic resist with turret plating. Ever so slight change on the third and fourth tier of the turret. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult to take down the turret. Armor and magic resist without the turret plating is going to go up. So it's just going to be a little bit more difficult to take the first turret. Inner turret, base armor and base magic resist. I don't know what 7 to 15 means, but I guess the turrets are going to be a little bit more tanky. And then the inhibitor turrets are going to be less tanky. It's going to be easier to take them. Okay, cool changes. What can I say? That's it. I think it's good. A lot of these changes are really, really good. I don't really have any complaints or anything. Small patch, but good changes. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next Wild Rift video. Bye-bye.